What up, cheese sticks? Back at it with another legit album review. And today we're going to be reviewing the one, the only Juice Wrld latest album, Death Race for Love. Now, this album, I'm kind of late on it. Like, I'm sorry about that. Like, I was kind of busy this week and I really couldn't get to it. I mean, and I try reviewing albums while they're still hot. And I mean, the album I guess is still kind of hot, but I try to review them within like a week. And I'm past due. Whatever. We're still gonna get it done. So, Juice Wrld album, Death Race, has a PlayStation cover on it. So, you know, shout out to my PlayStation fans. We out here, boy. But yeah, so there's it's a hour long and 12-minute LP. Let me tell you something. I gave up video games for Lent, and Jesus Christ, listening to an album for an hour and 12 minutes without having something to do in like the background, other than like obviously working out or something like that, it's just so dang flipping hard. Like, I'm not even playing with you. Because, like, if you do exercise while listening to an album, are you really listening to it the way you should be? Are you really? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. But that's neither here nor there. And let's get right into it. So, my favorite tracks off the album. I'm gonna list them off to you guys right now. Empty, Fast, Hear Me Calling, Robbery, and Who Shot Cupid. Now, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I know I'm gonna get hate for it, but I feel like he really sounded like Post Malone in this album. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad. I'm not saying like he ripped off. I'm not saying he ripped him off, but I feel like his voice, not the way he raps or anything like that. I mean, I guess like maybe like his tone of voice, I guess, or I don't know what it is, but he just reminded me of Post. Now, the ballads on the album, you know, it's his shtick, you know, talks about relationships or, you know, being sad or depressed and drugs, obviously, you know, everyone raps about drugs, but I feel like somehow Juice Wrld was able to get trap, emo, and pop. I feel like pop. I feel like this album sounded very poppy. I don't ever hear anybody mentioning that, but I feel like he had all those sounds and just shoved it into one album. But he did it so beautifully. You know what I mean? Because there'd be some rappers, they'd be trying to, you know, put a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. That doesn't come out right. It doesn't come out right. But the way he did it just came out so perfect, so clean, and I wouldn't say clever, but it just came out beautiful. You know, it wasn't like, you know, he tried to sound like something he was not. Not like Jumex. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, for most of the album, I feel like he sounded like trap, emo, or pop. But the song that I feel he sounded like pop the most was Fast and Hear Me Calling. Like, those most definitely sound like, those don't even sound like modern day pop, to be honest. They sound more like something that would have came out 5 or 6 years ago, but I mean that in a good way too. But he's definitely grown a lot since Lucid Dreams, and me personally, I thought he was just gonna stay with that Lucid Dreams type of feel, or not type of feel, but like I thought he would try to remake Lucid Dreams over and over and over and over, but he didn't, and that's a good thing, because I know like a lot of rappers that they come out with one good song and they try to remake that song and they just doesn't end up working out, and just the whole album was amazing. Kind of long, I mean, but whatever, you know, whatever. But One of the tracks I didn't like off the album was Syphilis, but I felt like the style of rap and like just his voice and even the beat in the background, I felt like that's where he kind of tried like to sound like something he's not, which is X, and just like you hear it reminded me a lot of that one song by X. How's it go? Fuck, how's it go? Which one is it? Fuck, what song is it? But he's trying to sound like X. That's how I feel. Like just that one song, but and then after that, I feel like this is like the best part of the album, like the best 3 songs, I guess. Well, not my favorite. They were not my favorite song, but I think they're the best songs. If that makes any sense. You got hold on, Who Shot Cupid? I mean, that is one of my favorite songs. Ring Ring, featuring Cleaver and Desire, and then later on in the album you got Writer, but I like how he uses like a guitar. Like I've never really heard rappers use guitars like that. And I mean, okay, maybe like a southern rapper like Yellow Wolf, you know, but that's different because he's like that's his shtick that he's from the South, But Juice WRLD is a Chicago rapper. You think that he'd be coming out with some drill music or, no, he doesn't. No, he just put a guitar on them tracks and they came out pretty fire. I mean, Juice WRLD, I feel like he has a lot of potential. This album, I can see it winning an award. I hope it does. I swear to God, in a year from now, if he doesn't win it, I'm going to sell my channel to Anthony Fantano. You guys can quote me on that. But that's it, guys. Check out the album. If you haven't listened to it already, you need to listen to it. I mean, if you're not into emo rap or that kind of stuff, I mean, you don't have to listen to it. But do I recommend it? Yes. If I have to give it a rating, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Most definitely, a 7.5. But that's it, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and press that mother freaking like button.